Yo, what's up, guys? Teacher Paul up here, and today we are going to do an MBTI test to find out my personality, I guess. I don't know how accurate this is, but this was a request by you guys, so let's check this out. And don't forget, if you want to support the channel, go over to Buy Me Coffee or Patreon. Links are in the description, and let's go. This is our free personality test. You regularly make new friends. Does online friends count? I I'm gonna put more like agree. It's not neutral, but yeah, I make friends easily. I don't know. That's a deep question. What is a friend actually? You regularly make new friends. If it's online, yeah, it's easier for me to make friends, but if it's in person, then no. It's very a vague question, to be honest with you. Complex and novel ideas excite you more than simple and straightforward ideas. Complex and novel ideas excite you more. I like simple and straightforward, but I also like complex. Uh, 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 um, hmm. I'm gonna go neutral with this one because it depends on the. It depends. If it's complex and novel, it's okay. If it's simple and straightforward, it's also okay. I like both. It really depends on. I don't know. You usually feel more persuaded by what resonates emotionally with you than by factual arguments. Nah, I disagree with that. I don't know how much I disagree with that, but I disagree. I'm gonna go a little bit, I disagree. I'm very factual. I like to understand what I'm getting into and why. But also, of course, if there's an emotional aspect, I tend to, okay, that's fine. But I'm not very persuaded emotionally unless it's backed by facts. Your living and working spaces are clean and organized. That's true. I like I like minimalistic areas, but I'm not too organized. But I am very organized at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So it's over here. You usually stay calm and even under a lot of pressure. Yeah, you guys think I'm calm, right? Yeah, I'll add that. I'm a calm person. You find the idea of networking or promoting yourself to strangers very daunting. Networking or promoting myself, no, not at all. What happened? You don't think I'm calm under pressure? I am quite a calm person. The idea of network or promoting yourself is not daunting at all to me. I'm on YouTube, so you prioritize and plan tasks effectively, often completing them well before the deadline. I do. I do. But at the same time, I take my time. It depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I take my time and yeah. But I do prefer 1 day or 2 days before deadline. People's stories and emotions speak louder than numbers to or data. I don't understand the question. What are we talking about? Numbers or data? Are we talking about business? Are we talking about emotions? What are we talking about here? People's stories and emotions speak louder to you than numbers. If I'm investing in someone, like let's talk about The Voice, for example, or America's Got Talent. If a person doesn't have the greatest voice, I'm not gonna bet on them just because they have a good story. So I would I would I don't know how to answer this because I don't know what they're talking about. If I'm investing in a company and the person says, "Oh, I just recently you know, lost everything," and I'm going to be like, "Hey, if you lost everything, I'm not going to lose it either." Because I'm very logical that way. If you're talking about when you see someone else crying, you feel like crying too. Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm going to invest in their company if they're crying. Uh, that's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about here. If we're talking about investments, numbers and data speak louder than someone crying about their story. Um, I'm gonna go neutral with this one. I don't know. Like, I don't act upon emotion. I can cry with them and I'll give them a word of support, but I'm not gonna invest in their company if the numbers are not right. You like to use organizing tools like schedules? I do. I love, actually I like it a lot. Even a small mistake can cause you to doubt your overall abilities and knowledge. Nah, not at all. I don't doubt myself a single bit. You feel comfortable just walking up to someone you find interesting and striking up. I completely disagree. I have I have severe social anxiety. That's why I'm online. Oh man. You are too interested in discussions about various interpretations of creative works. I'm not too interested. I disagree. I like talking about various interpretations of creative works. I'm a very curious person, and I like, discussing. You prioritize facts over people's feelings. No, I actually like. Uh, I disagree with that. I wait. You prioritize facts. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I agree. I prioritize facts over people's feelings. Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. Um, but not too much. I do consider people's feelings. Um, obviously, I care about what people are, but actually, you know what? I do care a lot of people's feelings, and that leads me to not take too much of a harsh action. Yeah. This is to find out my personality type. You often allow the day to unfold without any schedule at all. Heck no. But not too much. I also like a little bit of a surprise. That's why we got discovering something new, right? You rarely worry about whether you make a good impression on people you meet. I tend to be myself a lot, so I don't really mind. But I also, yeah, I'm gonna go neutral here in the middle because I care the impression that I have on people, but if they don't like me the way I am, I try, but it's unfortunate if they don't care about who I am. You know, you enjoy participating in team-based activities. It's complicated. I love it when I'm there, but I hate it when I have to decide to go. As I said, I'm not very social. I do have a little bit of, actually, I have a lot of social anxiety. But once I'm there, yeah, I like it. Once I'm there, but it's so hard for me to go to that situation. So yeah, I like team-based activities. I'll put half. Okay. Do you enjoy experimenting with new and untested approaches? Yeah, I do. 100%. You prioritize being sensitive, overly, completely honest. Yeah, yeah, to some degree, I do. I could be completely honest and, you know, offend people, but especially here on my channel, I try to be as positive as I can be because I know that people people are sensitive online. You actively seek out new experiences and knowledge to areas. 100%. That's the whole idea of my channel. You're prone to worrying that things will take a turn for the worse. Nah, I'm very positive, but I do have a little bit of pessimism. I do have a pessimistic side, but it's not. You enjoy solitary hobbies or activities more than group ones. No, I completely disagree with that. I prefer, hmm, I prefer group. Actually, I completely disagree with that. I love group activities. I stopped going to the cinema because, I don't have, like, my wife doesn't like cinemas, so I just don't go alone. I don't like going alone. You cannot imagine yourself writing fictional stories for a living. I completely disagree. I wanted to be a writer so badly growing up. I was, my first dream was to become a script writer. I used to write a lot. Um, yeah, I used to write a lot. And maybe I should go back to writing. I loved writing. You favor efficiency in decisions, even if it means disregarding some emotional aspects. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, I I prefer efficiency. Um, I It doesn't matter how much a person tells me, "Oh no, I'm gonna have a lot of work doing that." I tell them, "Listen, this is what we agreed upon. I I take into consideration how hard it's gonna be, but please fix it." And I insist until they fix it because it's efficient, right? But I do try to be you know as kind as possible, but at the same time, I'm not gonna accept things that haven't been done. I will keep insisting, and I will keep bothering the person until it's done. You prefer to do your chores before allowing yourself to relax. I'll go half over here. It depends on the day. If I'm too tired, I don't burn out myself. Um, and I normally tell people and tell myself, sit, relax, do it later. So, but sometimes I do push myself. Sometimes I say, let me finish this first and then I can relax. So half half depends on the day. In disagreements, you prioritize proving your point over preserving the feelings of others. The thing is, I don't get into a discussion unless I know the truth, unless it's based on facts. If it's only, because I want to be right, or if it's only to prove my point, then I don't get into a discussion. Um, and I do think that I push more than other people because if they got it wrong, it's going to get wrong and they're going to suffer for it. So I do try to, yeah, I'm going to agree 100% with this. Yeah, I'm going to agree 100% because I'm very stubborn when it comes to that. I'm like, listen, guys, I wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't based on facts. And then I present them the facts. If they want to ignore the facts, then it's a loss. But I did my part. You usually wait for others to introduce themselves first at social gatherings. It depends. Do I walk up to them and introduce myself, or like, are we gonna meet? I don't know. If we're supposed to meet, then no, I'm gonna go there and say, "Hi, I'm Teacher Paul. We're supposed to be meeting today," and I'll introduce myself. Um, I'm gonna go halfway here. As I said, I need context. It needs to be contextual. Your mood can change very quickly. I agree 100%. I 100% agree. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm moody, and one thing can trigger me. I can change my mood very quickly. You're not easily swayed by emotional arguments. I completely agree. It, actually, actually, I do have a soft heart if you know how to convince me, because I'm a very reasonable person. It's not based on emotions, it's based on facts. And the fact is, if your feelings are hurt, I will try to understand your perspective and I will try to reason and, I'm very reasonable. You often end up doing things at the last possible moment. No, I plan very well. I plan very well. You enjoy debating ethical dilemmas. I don't. I don't enjoy debating that. I don't like talking about that. I don't enjoy it, no. You usually prefer to be around others rather than your own. Yeah, I agree. I prefer to be around others than my own. That's why I live stream. You become bored or lose interest when the discussion gets highly theoretical. Depends on the topic. It depends on the topic. But yeah, wait, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. If it's something I don't understand, yeah, I think everyone gets bored when something like if it's theoretical. Yeah, I agree 100%. Yeah, I think so. Nami says this type of test is so popular in Korea that almost everyone except older people knows their type. And it's even used in workplaces because if you know what type they are, then you know how to treat them. You know, the way you treat them can change. Okay. Some people work best under pressure. Yeah, that's why we have managers, supervisors. Some people need a push. When facts and feelings conflict, you usually find yourself following your heart. No. They're repeating the same questions to see if there is any logic to what I'm saying or if I'm just answering it out of the blue. But no, I don't follow my heart. I go through logic. You find it challenging to maintain a consistent work or study schedule. No, it's not. If you are well organized, you you know how to work, you know how to study. Guys, if I didn't have any discipline in terms of work schedule or study schedule, I wouldn't be working for myself, because people who don't have that discipline, they don't you know they can't do the work. I have so many friends who tried YouTube, and instead of actually working, they're playing video games and they're saying, "Oh, I'm creating content." Listen, if you're a small YouTuber and you're creating content based on playing video games and you're not getting any views on that, then I have news for you. You're just having fun. You're just having fun. Creating content is literally being strategic with what you're doing. Um, but yeah, you rarely second guess the choices you have made. That I disagree with that. I second guess everything. I overthink. I overanalyze. I overread. I over question. I over explain. Yeah, I second guess it all the time. Not because I don't have the confidence, but because I want it to work. And I study a lot. I study a lot. My head is in the data every single day. Your friends would describe you as a lively and outgoing person. Nah, I don't think so. Lively, yes. Outgoing, no. I'm lively, but I'm not outgoing. And not because of, it's not fault of my own. If I had places to go, if I had things to do, as I said, I don't go to places just because. I need an excuse to go. I need like why am I going? I need you are drawn to various forms of creative expression, such as writing. I am 100%. You usually base your choices and on objective facts rather than. Again, why are you doing the same questions? It's because the algorithm needs to know if I'm lying, if I'm being inconsistent. Yeah, you usually base your choices on objective facts rather than emotional. They're trying to catch me in a lie. You like to have a to-do list for each day. I like to, but I don't, because the to-do list is in my head. I create a routine around what I need to do. But yes, I do normally have a to-do list, so I'm gonna agree with that. I work with like when I'm working with other people, I do have a to-do list. I have an organizer. You rarely feel insecure about what? Yeah, I'm gonna say I rarely feel insecure. You avoid making phone calls 100%. I hate phone calls. Why are you calling me? Just so I can uh, talk? No. Don't call me. Message me, text me, email me, but don't call me. I hate phone calls. You enjoy exploring unfamiliar ideas. Again, yes, I enjoy it. And I'm not patient with repetition. I hate repetition. You can easily connect with people you have just met. I can. Yes, I agree with that. Because I am a curious person, and I try to try to pay attention to what people are saying. If your plans are interrupted, your top priority is to get back on track as soon as possible. 100%. It doesn't matter. Let's get back. Let's jump onto it and try to. But then again, I can also take a step back, revisit my plans, and yeah. But I'm okay with that. You are still bothered by mistakes that you made a long time ago. Nah, I'm not bothered at that at all. Not really. I used to be. I'm not anymore. I have opened. Uh, I have cleansed my soul. I have cleaned my hands from the past. Water under the bridge. You're not too interested in discussing theories on what the world could look like in the future. I am interested. I'm actually pretty interested. Your emotions control you more than you control them. Again, come on, guys. I disagree with that. When making decisions, you focus more on how the affected people might feel. Again, the same question. Um, than on what is most logical or efficient. No, I don't. I strongly disagree with that. But then, okay, I care about people, so I am conflicted in that part where they say how the people feel, because I don't want anybody to feel bad, but I still feel like if it's the wrong course of action, I'm not going to go there. Your personal work style is closer to spontaneous bursts of energy than organized and consistent efforts. Again, no, I am very organized. I'm very consistent. And, it's funny because sometimes I see my old emails and sometimes I think I have a new idea, but I have not had a new idea. That idea has been around for a long time. Before having Buy Me a Coffee, for example, I used to use coffee, Kofi. Um, so the requests have always been a thing on the channel, but I didn't have enough data to, think, should I carry on with this or not? And now we have the support system, which is really helping me be full time here. So consider supporting the channel on Patreon or buy me coffee. See how they did that? That wasn't planned. That was spontaneous burst of energy. Okay, so um, it's closer to organized though. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take for them to feel disappointed in you. When someone thinks highly of you, you wonder how long it will take them to feel disappointed. That's insecurity. I don't really think I'm a screw up. I don't think people get disappointed with me unless I don't wonder that at all. People don't live rent free in my head. I don't really mind. Like, as I said, people need to like me for who I am. Maybe in the past I used to care, but right now, like, I need to be happy with who I am and not wonder what people are going to think of me. You would love a job that requires you to work alone most of the time. I am alone most of the time, but I wish I had someone here to record with me. That's why, I'm calling my wife to record as much as she can. You believe that pondering abstract philosophical questions is a waste of time? No, I don't. I like pondering. I like thinking. I like meditating in specific thoughts. You feel more drawn to busy, bustling atmospheres than to quiet? No, I don't. I prefer quiet places. If a decision feels right to you, you often act on it without needing further proof. Again, no. I need proof. I need data. I need history. I need to look into it and think and ponder. And I you often feel overwhelmed. I do sometimes. I do sometimes because I have a lot to do. A lot of things goes through my mind. Just right now, I have on my channel. Let's see how many copyright claims. 200 copyright claims right now on my channel. That's how much I need to, think of just on copyright. You complete things methodically without skipping any steps. Yeah, I do every yeah, actually I agree a lot. If you look at how I upload a video, it's very methodic. It's very efficient. It's every step needs to happen and I don't skip any steps. It has to go here, this, that. Everything is very methodic. Um, but I do leave some time to, be spontaneous. So yeah, you prefer tasks that require you to come up with creative solutions rather than follow concrete steps. Yeah, I like that too. Creative solutions are always good. Um, if you look at the way I used to do my thumbnails, um, I don't follow the conventional style. Yeah, so I think I prefer tasks with creative solutions. Everything I do is very creative. The way I make my videos, the way I, the method that I use as it is creative. You're more likely to rely on emotional intuition than logical reasoning. Again, I hate repetition because I feel like one time is enough. Oh man, but okay. You are more likely to rely on emotional intuition than logical reasoning. I completely disagree with that. You struggle with deadlines. No, I don't. I disagree with that. You feel confident that things will work out for you. I do. Okay. Send me a career. No. Mail. Okay. Uh, should I? Wait. I don't want to leak any emails. Okay. See results. What is that? Commander A. Your personality type is Commander ENTJA. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. It said T? Where do you see T? It says A. As an NTJ commander, you are a natural born leader with an unparalleled drive to turn your visions into reality. That sounds like me, yeah. That really sounds like me. Your strategic mind excels at seeing the big picture, identifying long term goals, and devising efficient plans to achieve them. You possess a rare combination of confidence, charisma, and decisiveness that draws others to you and inspires them to follow your lead. Yeah, that does sound like me. NT, N, ENTJA. Each letter has a different meaning. Okay. Your approach to life is characterized by ambition and a relentless pursuit of success. You have an innate ability to organize people and resources, creating order out of chaos and transforming abstract ideas into concrete results. Your sharp intellect and rational decision making skills allow you to navigate complex situations with ease, always keeping your eye on the ultimate objective. Okay, interesting. That's really cool. When you're quiet, alone quietly, honestly, you might need. Why do I need to take it again? What do you disagree on? Personality traits. Extroverted. I think I'm introvert. I think I'm introverted. My wife says I am actually extroverted, but I think I am introverted. Intuitive. I'm more observant actually. 70%, 71% thinking. Yeah, okay. Judging, prospecting. What? Assertive. Okay. Your direct communication style is both a strength and a challenge. While it enables you to express your thoughts clearly and persuasively, it can sometimes come across as blunt or insensitive to those around you. That is 100% true. You value efficiency and competence above all else, which can make you impatient with those who don't meet your high standards. That is true. You thrive in environments that challenge you and provide opportunities for growth and leadership. That's true. You're not content with the status quo and are always looking for ways to improve systems, processes, and people. That is true as well. Your ability to see potential and drive change makes you an invaluable asset in any organization or group, but it also means you may struggle with mundane tasks or situations that don't align with your grand vision. Yeah, that's why I left my old job, I guess. Your career path. Your career path is more than just a job, it's a platform for you to exercise your leadership skills and make a significant impact. You're naturally drawn to roles that allow you to strategize, make important decisions, and guide others towards a common goal. I guess that is true, yeah. Whether you're running your own business or climbing the corporate ladder, you're always aiming for the top, driven by an unwavering belief in your abilities and a desire to leave your mark on the world. That is 100% true. But I do not, I don't care about the corporate ladder anymore because that's something I abandoned for, independent work. However, your career path isn't without its challenges. Your preference for big picture thinking and strategic planning may cause you to overlook important details or become frustrated with a day-to-day operations. Maybe, maybe. Learning to appreciate and manage the smaller aspects of your work while also delegating effectively will be crucial for your long term success. Additionally, your direct communication style and high expectations may need to be tempered in certain professional settings to maintain positive relationships with colleagues and subordinates. That's what I have been doing. I have been tempering my decision making skills based on people being too sensitive with direct orders. Um, so yeah, I do have a lot of empathy, but I am very, I am very strict when I come, when I see it needs to. Your strengths is your communication. You express your ideas directly and effectively, helping your team stay aligned and goal oriented. That's true. If as efficient organizer, you naturally identify priorities and efficiently allocate resources to achieve clear, measurable outcomes. Results oriented. You measure success by practical accomplishments rather than theoretical discussions, guiding efforts toward tangible achievements. Decisive action. You adopt the straightforward, confident approach to important decisions, maintaining momentum and avoiding indecision. Future focused, you readily envision long term implications, enabling you to anticipate opportunities and obstacles before others see them. Proactive initiative, you instinctively seize opportunities without waiting for encouragement or permission, propelling your projects and your career forward. Okay, it's easy for me to sit here and say, yes, yes, okay, that's true for my strengths. The real thing will come when we're talking about weaknesses, because of course we're going to accept everything that is strong. Let's see if I accept my weaknesses. Reluctant to delegate tasks. You find it difficult to fully trust others with responsibilities, causing unnecessary stress by carrying excessive workload yourself. Half true. I like to delegate. I like to, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. But I do feel like I do have that sensation that nobody's going to do it as well as I am. I don't know. Maybe it's true, but I push myself too much to do the best. And when I don't see people doing the best as I do it or as fast as I do it, I feel like, you know what? Let me take over. Yeah, I think that's, yeah, I am reluctant to delegate tasks. Yeah, I don't want anybody to do as much as I do. Relentless with routine tasks. Routine or detail heavy tasks can test your patience, causing frustration and reducing your enthusiasm. And that's true. Yeah, I am restless. Like, not routine tasks, but I don't have patience to wait for stuff. You know, if it's me, I'm going there, I'm doing it myself. But if I'm having to wait for others, I don't have patience and I lose my enthusiasm and it just really puts me down. Underestimating emotional factors. While focusing on measurable outcomes, you may overlook people's emotional needs, inadvertently hindering overall productivity. I think I am very aware of people's emotions. I think I do, but I could maybe come across as strict when I talk and I say, guys, please do this, do that, do that. Please, guys, I've told you like 500 times, which happens. Which happens. Sometimes I have to say 10 times, not joking, and it still comes wrong. And I sometimes I just I want it done, and sometimes I might come across as not looking at people's emotional needs. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I try my best for people and their emotions because I always ask, I always check up on people, and I always make sure people are being taken care of. But what I've noticed is that sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes people will just not do their jobs correctly, and it doesn't matter how much you do for them, they just won't. They won't. They just don't won't do it. Especially in our day and age, people just say, "Oh, I'm not going to do it." Overly critical. Your focus on efficiency and excellence sometimes leads to excessively harsh critiques, negatively impacting team morale. I guess so. More in the past, not now, but more in the past, I used to be very critical. Now I try to be more reasonable and say, listen, just try to be more factual. Discomfort with ambiguity. You often struggle when tasks lack clear goals. Oh, yeah, 100%. Preferring defined outcomes over uncertain or exploratory processes. I can't work on something that I don't know what the goal is for. What am I doing this for? I can't. Just literally, I can't. Like, what are we doing, guys? Let's. What are we doing? Why are we here? Intolerance of inefficiency. Your drive for efficiency can breed impatience toward slower colleagues or unavoidable delays affecting collaboration dynamics. That's true, but I'm not cutthroat. I I'm not cutthroat. I don't cut people out of my lives if they're inefficient. I insist for them to have personal growth, professional growth. I offer to pay, courses for them to develop themselves. I give a lot of chances to people, but at the same time, I feel impatient, but I'm trying my best to hold it for myself so that other people won't feel overwhelmed in their work because we need a great working environment. And I sometimes I'm harsh like a father is because I know people can get better and I know people can, do better, but some people don't understand that, and I understand that people they some people work well under pressure and some people don't. I'm the type of person, if somebody tells me, "Wake up, man. You're better than that." I'm going to wake up and I'm going to be better. But if I treat people like that, some people are going to feel discouraged. So I don't assume anything anymore saying, "Oh, um my method is better." I don't think that way. Your journey of personal growth centers around balancing your natural strengths with developing new skills that may not come easily to you. One of your primary challenges is developing emotional intelligence, learning to recognize and respond to the feelings of others. Not really, no. I am very empathic with other people. I take their feelings into consideration, and I go easy on people. But as I said, if I need something done, it has to be done. That's what they're paid for, right? Now, if they're crying about it, I'm gonna be like, listen, I'm so sorry. It has to be done. I'm here with you. Whatever you need, please contact me or please call me. Please don't call me. Please message me. I will help you, but it has to be done. It just has to be done. Um, and yeah, and that gets people angry because they're like, "Oh, I can't do it," and I'm like, "Yes, you can." It's just it's just work. It's work. I can't give you an example out of my head, but one of your but I am very patient. I am very nice and patient. I promise. One of your primary challenges is developing emotional intelligence, learning to recognize and respond to the feelings of others, as well as understanding and managing your own emotions. This involves cultivating empathy and patience, which can sometimes feel at odds with your efficiency-driven nature. As I said, I have learned how to deal with people, and I'm not better than anyone, so my efficiency, my priorities is not number one in my life. There is nothing too urgent, too important. There's nothing in this life that is, you know, more important than people having health. And I don't want to be the burden on people's mental health. I don't want to be the stress causer. But at the same time, I am going to be there saying, guys, I'm not going to micromanage you, but please look at what we're missing here. It is a conflict because we can't just leave it halfway done. I go back to what we were talking about, the thumbnails. It doesn't matter if it needs to be done, it needs to be done. Doesn't matter how many times I asked, I'm gonna ask again until I lose patience and I do it myself. But yeah, but I don't trust myself anymore. But I keep going and keep trying to, as calmly as possible, try to you know remind people of their duties. While your confidence and decisiveness are valuable assets, they can sometimes lead to rigid, rigidity, rigidity, or an inability to trust others with important tasks. That's not true. I still trust people with important tasks, but I do have a pessimistic side saying, "Hey, this might go wrong, but I'm ready to to redo the job." But I do trust them. By working on these aspects, you can become even more effective leader and a more well-rounded individual, capable of navigating both professional and personal spheres with greater ease and satisfaction. Yeah, I believe so. I work on myself every day. I know I'm not perfect. I know that I make mistakes. I know that my tone sometimes is harsh. I know that my voice sometimes is, it might scare some people. Some people, especially those who don't know me or have just met me, they think I'm a very strict person. They think I'm very like, but it's because of my tone of voice. Sometimes I have mannerisms that people think is, being harsh, but no. Yeah, it's true. Because it is. People think I am strict. Like if I'm serious or if I'm talking strict, not strict, normal. It's just the tone of voice. I have like a not too deep, but I have like a voice that people might think, wow, wait. Okay. Seeking constructive feedback. You welcome straightforward critique, continually pursuing advice and ideas for self improvement. Yes, I always ask, guys, please give me constructive feedback, not criticism or hate comments or saying, oh, your video sucks. Yeah, okay. My video sucks. How does it suck? How can I improve it? What sucks about it? Um, you're really not strict at all. As I said, people think that. Structured habits. You excel at organizing your personal life with clear routines, increasing your likelihood. I am very misunderstood. I am, though. Achieving productivity and health goals. Yeah, health is important. If you have a sick employee, then, what are you going to do? You can't do anything about it. So you have to care about their health. Purposeful learning. You consistently challenge yourself to pursue new knowledge or refine existing skills in meaningful ways. Yes. High self-motivation. You proactively hold yourself accountable for developing your abilities, rarely needing an external encouragement. Yeah, I just said that I want to improve. So yeah, I do have self-motivation here. Objective self-analysis. You regularly assess and review your actions honestly, enabling you to make purposeful improvements. That's true. I've just done that right now. Openness to new experiences. You actively seek activities outside your comfort zone. That's true. Creating opportunities for significant personal growth. That's true. Oh, weaknesses. Impatient with slow progress. That's true. I hate slow progress. I have been working on how to deal with the impatience. And at this point today, I am more patient than ever, but I still hate slow progress. Oh man, I told you I've been anxious these past few days, and it's because people are so slow in doing their job. I waited for 3 weeks for YouTube to do something they had to do, and they emailed me saying they're not going to do it. As I said, my patience has limits, but I'm working on it. You quickly become frustrated when self improvement efforts don't yield immediate results, risking early abandonment of valuable habits. That's not true. I insist. Even if I don't like it, I insist. Overcommitting yourself, your ambitious pursuit of goals frequently leads to taking on too many responsibilities at once. That's true, causing exhaustion and ineffective outcomes. It only, as I said, it only becomes ineffective when I give up or when I have to wait for other people to do their part. But if it's up to me, and if I had the time, if I had the skills, I would go and do it. But I do understand I'm only one person. Unrealistically high standards. Your expectations for your performance can cross into perfectionism. I used to be very perfectionist. I am. Uh, uh, I am. Maybe I am. Making any failures or setbacks disproportionately discouraging. Yeah, but as I said, I used to be a perfectionist. I am not anymore. As you can see, my videos, my videos are not perfect. Um, and yeah, I have my perfectionism controlled. It's under control. I am still a perfectionist, but it's under control. Avoiding emotional reflection. You often focus solely on logical solutions when facing personal obstacles, overlooking how your emotions influence your decisions. What? Overlooking how my emotions influence my decisions? I don't know about that one. Maybe. I don't know. A resistance to relaxation. You struggle with granting yourself downtime incorrectly, viewing leisure activities and rest as unimportant distractions. No, that's not true. Not at all. Um, not at all. I take the weekend off against my will because I value downtime. I know how burnout can really affect your business. So, in a sense, it is logical, it is efficient to take time off. So on weekends I don't work purposely against my will because I think not everything is work. And I used to suffer in the beginning also when I started creating content. Everything for me was content. I go to a restaurant, I have to film it. I have to make a video out of it. Right now, I don't. I went to Paris 2 months ago, I think. I didn't record any of it. I didn't even take a picture because I just wanted to live the moment. Actually, I did take a picture, obviously, but you know what I'm saying? I mean, for work. It was just personal. I didn't do anything for work. I didn't post anything for work. It was personal, and that's it. Discomfort asking for support. Your independence may cause hesitation in seeking emotional or practical help, limiting your access to valuable perspectives and aid from others. Guys, if you want to support the channel, buy me a coffee or go over to Patreon. I am not uncomfortable asking for support because I know that I cannot do this alone. I know I am not able to do this without you guys. I know I'm not able to do you know, just to keep up the quality of the channel without my editor, without, even though, you know, sometimes there are things that I wanted to do faster. I can't. I can't do it by myself. I can't do it. Um, you know, I can't. I always ask for support. I do. So I don't think is there more? Okay, one more. Your relationships. In your relationships, whether romantic, familiar, or friendships, your direct and honest approach creates a foundation of trust and clarity. You value loyalty and commitment, and you find someone who meets your high standards. You're willing to invest fully in relationship. Your natural charisma and confidence can make you an exciting and inspiring partner or friend, always ready to tackle new challenges and push boundaries together. However, your relationships may face challenges due to your intense focus on goals and achievement. That might be true, yeah, which can sometimes overshadow the emotional needs of those close to you. Learning to express your feelings more openly and making time for genuine emotional connections is crucial for maintaining healthy, balanced relationships. By developing your capacity for empathy and actually working on your emotional intelligence, you can create deeper, more fulfilling connections with the important people for in your life. This is true for my younger self. Before I started working on myself, yeah, I would be very ambitious and very goal oriented. But right now, as I told you, I even take the weekend off. I don't really mind anymore. Nothing is too important that it has to be urgent. You know what I'm saying? So I think my mentality now is based on what I have done to improve myself. I'm more patient. I'm less of a workaholic. I'm less critical. And that's thanks also to YouTube. You know, watching a lot of videos on YouTube, um, and seeing the different walks of life has made me less critical of things. Um, I didn't like country growing up, country music. I like it now. You know, uh, I used to I used to criticize things without actually watching and learning and paying attention to it. I don't do that anymore. I'm not as critical as I used to be. So that's pretty cool. YouTube has made me grow and reflect a lot. And the sense of community here, the sense of support, I'm really grateful for it. So I have, and yes, it was really hard for me in the beginning to ask for support. It was really, I had never, ever, ever contemplated on saying, guys, buy me a coffee if you want to request a video. Like, that never crossed my mind in the past. And then people in the community started saying, listen, you know, we like you and we support you. It's okay. It's part of the environment. It's part of, you know, it's part of the online culture. Even Twitch, people, send stuff on Twitch, which is something that I'm learning still. Super chats, for example, the first time I got a super chat, I was so like, wow, guys, please don't send anything. But I understand that if I don't accept it, it's a gift. It's like I'm not accepting a gift. And if I don't accept it, then I can't be here full time. It's how it works. It's how it works. Reliable commitment. When you form meaningful connections, you consistently honor promises and loyalty. Give me a Twitch membership. Oh wow, you don't have a. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, you don't have one. Let me see if I can gift you. Okay, I'll try to do that after. But I didn't even notice you were running ads. Reliable commitment. When you form meaningful connections, you consistently honor promises and loyalties, creating trust in your relationship. Yeah, I think that's important. Encouraging confidence. You actively encourage friends and family members to believe in themselves and pursue fulfilling paths. I do that a lot, even with people that I don't know fully. I know human beings as a whole have the capacity of just being better. Respect for independence. You appreciate others' personal ambitions and space, giving your loved ones room to grow in their own way. That's true. Direct honesty. You are straightforward and transparent, giving others clarity about your feelings and expectations. This is a very accurate, you know, test. It's really interesting. Practical problem solving. You approach relationship challenges logically, calmly, addressing conflicts and difficulties with rational discussions and solutions. Your natural enthusiasm in energizing your relationship, encouraging others to engage fully in shared experiences. Thank you so much, Lena. Thank you so much, Lena. That is so kind of you, Lena. I was gonna do that after the video, but thank you so much, Lena. Guys, W Lena in the chat. Energetic companion. Your natural enthusiasm energizes your relationship, encouraging others to engage fully in shared experiences and activities. Yeah, I am pretty energetic, I think. Your weaknesses. Difficulty expressing emotions. You struggle to openly share feelings, leading to some to perceive you as distant or emotionally closed off. I don't think that's true. Impatient with vulnerability. You may fail to fully appreciate others' emotional vulnerability, responding patiently or dismissively when they need emotional reassurance. Yeah, if I'm not being, like if I'm not aware of the situation. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the coffee request. If I'm not aware of the situation, if I'm not being like aware of my surrounding, then I will probably not assess the situation as well as I could have. By the way, this coffee request was for Lena. So Nami, thank you so much. And this is what I love about this community. Lena gifted Nami and Nami gifted Lena. So Lena, you can choose a video to request on Nami's behalf. Preference for control. You tend to dominate social decisions and interactions, leaving others feeling overloaded and undervalued. Do I? If I do that, it is my mistake. I don't do that on purpose. I don't do that on purpose. I feel like I want everybody to have their say. Insensitive criticism. Unintentionally harsh statements can hurt loved ones' feelings or damage trust despite your positive intentions. Maybe. Not intentional. Yeah, it's unintentional. Yeah, I can agree with that. Maybe. Prioritizing, but as I said, it's unintentional. I really don't know what I'm doing sometimes. Like, what did I say wrong? You know? Like if somebody asks me, does this suit make me look fat? If I'm trying to help them, I might say yes. I might say yes. But I do take a step back and say, wait, are you gonna be offended if I'm honest? And that itself already offends them. And they're, I don't know. I don't know. I thought people were trying to get honest, feedback, but your goal prioritizing task over connection. Your goal-driven attitude sometimes leads you to ignore relationship building opportunities, unintentionally causing emotional damage. Yeah, maybe that's true. I try not to. Overlooking small gestures. In your emphasis on solutions and outcomes, you might underestimate the significance of seemingly minor emotional gestures your loved ones make. Maybe. I I think so, maybe. Okay, yeah, told you it wants me to unlock the full thing. But I think we did a lot. Do you guys agree with everything that was said here? Like from what you know, let me know in the comments. From like from what you see, you hang out with me every day. Do you think this is mostly true or not? I don't want to be an insensitive guy, you know. I do try to be as kind and loving and aware and emotionally connected with people. And I try to understand, but it's sometimes it's out of my reach. Sometimes I might, you know, overlook things, but never intentionally. I never want people to feel disconnected. That's not my intention. I want things to be done efficiently, but at the same time, I don't want to be people to feel stressed and overwhelmed. And I sometimes I don't know how to do that. I think sometimes I say, "Listen, guys, I'm sorry. I really am sorry. But we're on a deadline. We gotta rush. Let's go. Let's go." It is what it is. It is what it is. I think, you know. But I have improved a lot. Most of the things I do today um, are based on things I learned from the past mistakes. And I used to feel so misunderstood in the past, and now I don't feel like I'm misunderstood. I feel like I need to be better at explaining things. So it's not their fault. It's my fault if I don't explain things correctly. So I normally take the blame and try to fix things now. You might need to take it again, not just putting on a show, but being truly honest. Putting on a show about what you like and don't like. I feel like that was 100% accurate. Guys, watching an emotional song and listening to an emotional, you know, story does not mean I'm gonna go and invest or trust people just because they're being emotional. I am not an emotional person. I like emotional things, but logic above everything. It's really my fault for not explaining properly. Oh, well. Yeah. I don't know what Nami thinks of me, but I think the test was really accurate. But with that said, thank you so much for this test. It was really good to self reflect. And with that said, go over to Buy Me Coffee or to Patreon to support the channel, to request videos, and to watch full movie reactions. Click over here for more videos. I hope you enjoyed this one. It was a long one, so if you stayed until the end, you're a true supporter. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.